A show created by the fans, for the fans. We are your home for Ohio State football coverage all year long. The Scarlet and Gray Podcast, a Network 216 production. Live weekdays on the Network 216 YouTube channel. Send us all your questions and comments on Twitter at VSG_podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Tyler Johnson, Jordan Dalton, and Nick Leisure.
Good morning, Buckeye Nation, and welcome to another Ohio State Game Day preview. I am Tyler Johnson, joined by Mr. Jordan Dalton for this quick episode. JD, how you feeling this morning, my man?
Feeling great. Just got to wait all day for this game to start. But other than that, every other good college football game is going to be going on at the exact same time. So it'll be got to keep the eyes on all the screens.
Yeah, man, exactly. And again, it's so weird for this one, the fact that it's only on Peacock. I know it happens once a year, but it's just this matchup of all games, definitely just a little strange. But there is plenty to talk about today, guys. So if you would just take a quick second, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are brand new to the channel. We are on the push to get 3,000 subscribers. Can't get there without your help. And just remember, completely free. So really would appreciate that support. JD, Ohio State is going on the road for the first time this year in the Big Ten to Michigan State. I have been to Michigan State. I can tell you that stadium is not very well put together. It is kind of more – it needs an upgrade, I would say. Like, you're going into a place that it will be loud there. I can tell you the way it's structured there, it will be loud. Michigan State is a team coming off a loss against Boston College, so you know they're going to be ready to go. An opportunity for them to make a statement. First-year coach Jonathan Smith, quarterback Aiden Childs. What are you expecting in this game? This is not the same Michigan State team that Ohio State has seen in years past. This is a team that has some athletes. They're still trying to figure some things out in offense, but what are you expecting to see tonight?
They had a tough game starting off the season against Florida Atlantic. They've already beaten a Big Ten opponent against Maryland. It came down to the last second, 27-24. I'm probably, like you said, this is not the same Michigan State team. Jonathan Smith's going to be bringing an intensity. Those guys are going to be disciplined. He's coming in from Oregon State. He brought Aiden Childs in with him. I think he's a redshirt freshman, I believe. I don't think he played last year for Oregon State, but he's going to be
a sophomore. He's a sophomore, apparently, yeah.
Second-year player. I think they're just going to be really disciplined. They've only got 8 penalties on the season for the entire year. So in 4 games, they're averaging 2 penalties a game. So well coached. And, yeah, I don't think this is going to be a cakewalk by any means. First home game, it's going to be prime time, 7:30 kickoff. And East Lansing, it's not an easy place to play. Ohio State's had trouble there in the past. So definitely looking forward to this one for sure. Even though it might not be something that people circle on their calendar, it is our first Big Ten action of the year, and we'll get to see those boys under the lights for the second time this year.
Yeah, this is a game where you look at Michigan State, and the stats don't really look that great. I mean, you look at Aiden Childs. He's got 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, been sacked 6 times. He hasn't played very well. I tell all Buckeye fans this. He is probably one of the most talented quarterbacks Michigan State has had in a long time. This kid can play. People need to trust me on this. The numbers are deceiving. He's an athlete. He will make mistakes, but he is a gunslinger. He will make plays in the run game. That's who he is. He was considered by some to be the top transfer quarterback in the portal. And, of course, he follows his former head coach, Jonathan Smith, from Oregon State to Michigan State. This kid can play. Again, the numbers are very deceiving. Michigan State is going to get a boost by getting starting wide receiver Jerron Glover back. We don't know if Nick Marsh is going to play. At this point, he is the Spartans' leading receiver right now. We don't know if he's going to play. It sounds like he's a game time decision right now. But I'm telling you guys, Michigan State is going to come to play. Like, this is a game where Ohio State better be ready from the opening kickoff, JD. And we talk about it all the time. The Buckeyes really struggle, it seems like, ever since Ryan Day took over as head coach in the first quarter. Ohio State really seems to struggle. Like, they let teams in games. They trailed last week. They've trailed at other points this season. What do the Buckeyes have to do to avoid that slow start? Because, again, we talk about it all the time, but now you're going on the road in the Big Ten at night with a team that's very hungry for a victory. How do they avoid that slow start?
I think they just have to control their emotions, especially for a lot of these guys. This is going to be their biggest test. Jeremiah Smith getting his first action in conference. You have Will Howard getting his first action in conference. I think more so than anything else, it's the defense that starts slow, not necessarily the offense. So the defense just has to play how they have been playing all year after the first drive. It's just settling into the game sooner. And I think we had also touched on it in our weekly show. Ohio State's been, we kind of saw a weakness on the defense with the rushing quarterbacks. And Aiden Giles can run the ball. He's a really good athlete. When he came out of high school, they said he is a true dual threat on offense. He's going to hurt you with his feet if you give him space. And I think in this game, he's going to be more keen to run because he might not be comfortable throwing the ball downfield against this secondary. So I think as long as our defensive line stays home, wins up front, I think we'll have a good day defensively. It's just there's some things we've seen that if Ohio State doesn't key on it, especially with Michigan State, it could hurt us early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the running quarterback is something that I'm really going to be keeping an eye on this because Childs likes to run. I mean, so far this year, he has already so far this year, he has 27 carries. I was correct on that for 9. Again, the yards aren't spectacular. 27 carries for 95 yards. But he has 3 rushing touchdowns. He actually leads them in rushing touchdowns. So you have to make sure you contain the quarterback run game for sure because he wants to do that. He's not lighting it up in the passing game so far, only completing 54% of his passes. But he wants to be mobile. He wants to get outside the pocket a little bit, use his feet. Have to make sure you contain him there, and I'm hoping to see the Buckeyes do that on Saturday night. For me, I think the big thing that I'm looking for, the defense has got to contain the run game because Michigan State is built on the run with UMass transfer Karan Lynch-Adams right now is their leading rusher, 271 yards, 5.5 yards a carry. He has a touchdown, but Nate Carter also 207 yards, 4.4 yards a carry and a touchdown. That right now has been their go-to on the ground. They have a nice tandem there. Mix that in with a little Aiden Childs on the ground. They have a rushing attack that can cause you problems if you come out and start slow. So for me, that's really the biggest thing. I need the defense. I need to contain the run, especially the quarterback run. JD, on the offensive side of the ball, what do you want to see tonight? I think the biggest thing for me, we talked about a little bit on Monday. I'm still skeptical of Will Howard being able to throw the ball deep down the field. Like you said, we have not really needed it. This could be a game where you need it. So at least on my end, I want to see them, if it is needed, I want to see Will Howard be able to stretch the field a little bit. What are you looking for on the offensive side of the ball?
To keep up the protection. We haven't really seen Will Howard on the ground this year. We don't really want to see him on the ground this year. So I think they've done a pretty good job of improving each week. Last week was a little bit, up in conference. I think Will Howard he got sacked once, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One time.
And I think that's the only time he's been sacked this year.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So, I mean, if we can keep that number at 1 or 0, I'd be pretty happy. They've just been phenomenal in the run blocking this year. So, just keep it up with the bread and butter of the offense. I want to see the run game get started early and just kind of build on that. I mean, this is a team that is built on those two running backs in the backfield, and you just got to get them the ball. I truly believe they can carry us to a national championship. Will Howard doesn't have to be a Superman, create plays out of magic. He just has to play point guard, deliver the ball where it needs to be, and give the ball to those running backs. And I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, I would love to see. We're going to see it at some point. Man, I really want to see that formation of Quinshon and Trey in the backfield together.
It's coming. It's in the – they definitely have it in the holster. It's going to be there. I don't know. We might see it. We might see it tonight.
I mean, we saw the wing T formation last week, so you never know. Like Will Howard said, you never know what to expect with Chip Kelly. Before we give our game predictions for tonight's game, JD, who is someone on the Buckeyes on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball that you need to see step up tonight?
Step up. I want to see JT Tuimoloau. I want to see him get a couple sacks. He's been playing okay. He hasn't made a ton of splash plays, but I think they're going to cut those boys loose on the end. I think Jack and JT are going to end up with a sack apiece at least. So I really want to see JT on defense, and then on offense, we haven't really had a huge performance from Will Howard. Mm-hmm. He's done everything that they've asked him to do. He looks good doing it. I want to see a game where he throws over 300 yards and doesn't throw any interceptions. I want to see a very complete passing game from him.
Love it.
I think those are the two.
Love it, man. For me, on the defensive side of the ball, it's pretty simple. I was not too thrilled with Denzel Burke's performance last weekend. Again, I know it's Marshall. He just, and I was there in person, continuously they went his way, and he just was not very effective last weekend. I need to see that change this week, tonight, because the main reason, if Nick Marsh is healthy, he's their leading receiver. They're getting back another starter in Jerron Glover. I need him to be on top of his game. Like, you need that, especially because if Aiden Childs can get some completions going to some of his favorite targets, he's going to get more and more confidence in this game. You need to take it away early. So I need a big game from Denzel Burke, showing why he's one of the top corners in college football. And I know he is, but I need to see it. Then on the offensive side of the ball, the one guy that has not had a breakout game on offense at all is Carnell Tate. Let's see it tonight. Let's see Carnell Tate really establish himself in this Ohio State passing game. Because right now, it's not that he hasn't done anything. It's just Emeka Buka has had a 100-yard game and a touchdown. Jeremiah Smith has already done that as well. I want to see Carnell Tate take that step. I want to see Carnell Tate be featured. I want to see him go over 100 yards and a touchdown. So that's what I want to see tonight. Game prediction and the spread. So, JD, the spread for this game, the Buckeyes are favored by 23.5. Do you think they cover that, and what's your score prediction?
I don't think they cover. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game just because of the run game of Michigan State. And I think Ohio State's going to run the ball a lot. So, clock management is going to be a big factor, and the clock's going to be rolling because of the runs. So lower scoring, I think Ohio State's going to take it 31-14.
Okay. Mine is, I don't think they're going to cover either. I don't. It's the big reason for me is you're going on the road for the first time in the Big Ten this year. And again, it's a night game. This is a game Michigan State has circled. I mean, I know Ohio State will be ready, but Michigan State, this is pretty much this and Michigan. Other two games they circle every year. Michigan State's going to be ready to play. They're going to punch Ohio State in the mouth. The Buckeyes have to be ready to respond. I do think Ohio State wins this game. It is going to be closer than we would like personally. I have Ohio State 34 and Michigan State 24. It's going to be closer than we think. I really do. And I don't like to say that, and I hope I'm wrong, but Aiden Childs is a weapon, and so far he's going to be, even though statistically it doesn't show it, he's going to be the best quarterback Ohio State faces so far this year. So anything else you want to add before we wrap things up, my man?
I don't think so. I'm excited for all the slate of games tonight. Alabama, Georgia is going to be a great one. You can bet I'll be keeping one eye on Ohio State, one eye on Bama, Georgia. So, yeah, just excited.
Yeah, man. Great night of college football. Buckeye fans, again, thank you for tuning into this Ohio State Game Day preview. While thanking us, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. We will all be available next Tuesday to talk to you about the Ohio State versus Michigan State game and, of course, recap our picks from the weekend. We will talk to you all again soon. As always, go Buckeyes, baby.